Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody. I am joined alongside a hatless, a very tired March Madness Tony Cepeda. It has been a crazy last couple of days of March Madness, as you know, so make sure that you go over to Tony's Twitter and check out his bets. He's won me a lot of money. But breaking news, another reason why Tony's not wearing a hat is Larry Ogunjobi, who fit perfectly into Matt Eberflus's 4-3 defense, did not pass his physical today in order to fully sign with the Chicago Bears, and the Bears will not be moving forward today with him. Just putting that out there. There's a little thing from the statement from Ryan Poles that I'm going to read to you guys about exactly Larry Ogunjobi. Statement from Ryan Poles. As I said before, quote, as I said before, Larry Ogunjobi embodies everything we are looking for in a Bear. He is a special person and player. During the league's negotiating window earlier this week, we agreed to terms with him, subject to him passing a physical here. After a standard and thorough physical and medical review with Larry yesterday afternoon, our medical team deemed him to have failed his physical, and therefore, unfortunately, we are not signing him today. This is a difficult and emotional decision for everyone involved, but ultimately it is what is best interest of protecting the Chicago Bears, unquote. Tony, a little bit of an interesting little egg in there that he put, because the Bears ended up signing a defensive lineman that we're going to get into in a little bit. But initial reaction to hearing that, to hearing the news about Larry, which I texted you about, but then also hearing that little snippet in there, like, okay, you never know.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so first of all, I feel bad for Larry because that kind of, obviously it sounds like the door is still open. It doesn't sound like it's totally gone, but he just got the bag. He was probably excited. He's got a great story. He's got a very touching story. If you kind of look into it more, so he's truly a good person. So I definitely feel for him as a human being on a human level. However, this feels like such a classic Bears situation where it's like, we got our guy. He's going to replace like three people at once, Hicks, Goldman, and Nichols, and he doesn't pass the physical. And we'll find out what the reasoning was. I know he just got ankle surgery or foot surgery, and there's just a bunch of stuff to it. But what's really weird is this doesn't happen maybe as much as I think it maybe should. Like Albert Haynesworth, is he the last big signing to fail a physical?
That was even way worse though.
It's a totally different situation. I don't want to compare that directly because that was just Albert Haynesworth being just a very fat boy. But it's still a totally different situation. But it's crazy. I don't know. So it sounds like they're gonna just keep doing the physical till he passes, I guess. I don't know. He's in Chicago. It was on his IG that he is in Chicago. He clearly had to go to either the Bears hospital in Lake Forest or even Hallis Hall to do the physical. But it's strange. And I saw this on Twitter, and it's kind of like the Pharrell McPhee situation, but the Bears saved themselves ahead of time. Because back in 2015, we signed McPhee, and all of a sudden the Bears fans start finding out that Pace signed a guy with nothing but knee problems. And he was a beast when he played, but when he was hurt, unless you're on the field, as my neighbor Jay always says, you're getting paid to do nothing. So you're not helping the team. But best ability is availability.
Bingo. Tony put it on a shirt. But we're sorry that happened to Larry Ogunjobi. We hope he does end up becoming a Chicago Bear. But positives. The Bears ended up getting 2 wide receivers and a defensive lineman over the last couple of days. So quickly, let's go through who we already have signed before our new guys that have signed within the last 24 hours. The Bears signed offensive guard and center Lucas Patrick to a 2-year, $8 million deal. Long snapper Patrick Scales, who Tony absolutely loves, could have a beer with him any day of the week. Even, there's probably a couple green kegs sitting around Chicago. You guys could probably, text each other and hang out. But he makes $1.7 million, so make sure he picks up the tab. And then linebacker Nicholas Morrow, who's a young, speedy linebacker who's going to pair well with Roquan Smith. In theory, they never released his contract details yet, so apologize for not having that. But that's the guys that we already have. Now, Tony, first wide receiver that we signed yesterday, very tall guy, comes from the Green Bay scheme of Luke Getzy. Who are we talking about first?
We're talking about Equanimeous St. Brown. All-time name. Fantastic name. I'll touch on the name.
Shout out for you to pronouncing
that. So we'll get into kind of why I'm a big fan of his. I have been for a bit. So he is obviously coming from Green Bay. Wasn't Okay, I wasn't actively rooting for him on Green Bay, just to clear that up, but him as a person. So obviously reunited, like you said, Luke Getzy just bringing in all his guys. And I like that. It's what he's comfortable with. And hey,
it works.
Again, I'm anti-Packers, but they've had an okay couple of years. I'll say it. So he's 25 years old, 6'5", former Notre Dame star. That's why I like him. That's why I've kind of been in his corner for a while. So he's tall, he's athletic, and he has a few execution issues that he probably needs to address. He should not be wide receiver number one. I was going to say he likely shouldn't be, almost for sure shouldn't be. We might be in some trouble if he is. But he is a nice big target. And Getzy's offense is it was kind of built around that. Obviously, Devontae Adams was the guy that had all.
Which, by the way, see ya. Go to Las Vegas, baby. If you do not know, Devontae Adams, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a bunch of draft picks, and he got the bag. I think he got like $25 million a year. So he
came out. The Packers offered him more money, and he still was like, "No, thanks," which is awesome. Falling apart, love it.
See you later, Mr. Rogers.
To continue with Equanimeous, because this is my favorite part. Greatest sibling names ever. Just as a family, great names. His brothers are Amon-Ra St. Brown, who plays for the Lions, and then Osiris St. Brown, who I think is still on Stanford. He may have graduated this year. Those are Egyptian gods' names. That's literally where they came from his dad, who, famous bodybuilder, didn't know this. His name is just John Brown, by the way. He changed their names so that they weren't like so common. So he's 3-time Mr. World. His mother, Miriam Brown, is German, speaks fluent German with an American accent, and Equanimeous St. Brown holds both an American and German citizenship. So fun couple facts about them there.
Wow.
So, it doesn't really change anything about his wide receiver play. But I just thought,
well, hey, if we end up ever expanding into the European market,
they're definitely going to play games in Munich. I almost guarantee it. They're gonna be trying to play games in Germany. So that's true. He can talk to the people.
He can talk.
Whatever.
He can handle everyone's orders at dinner. He's the guy. Yes. But speaking of wide receivers, they went out and got a guy that I love this guy's name, because we all know that I love the meme that was very active around November. Wide receiver Byron Pringle. And I love that his last name's Pringle, like a Pringle chip. I was just like, and also I love that he actively posts about Pringles all the time. He's like, new flavor alert. I'm like, oh, this guy gets it. He's a good marketing guy with the last name. But he coming from the Kansas City Chiefs, so he has a Ryan Poles connection, signed a 1-year, $6 million contract. So pretty cheap, but $4 million of that guaranteed. So he's like, all right, I got the bag. I could get hurt and I'm good to go. Knock on wood. We hope that doesn't happen. We hope he has 1 million yards receiving. But he's 6'1", 28, so he's in his prime right now. And he's constantly gotten better the last couple of years, especially with the Chiefs last year. His stats were 42 receptions, 568 receiving yards, 13.5 yard per catch. So first down alert, put it on there, coach. And then he had 5 touchdowns, all from Patrick Mahomes, obviously. And he was the 4th wide receiver on the depth chart. And he's still putting up better stats than pretty much everybody on the Bears besides Darnell Mooney. He's good. He's scrappy, but he feels like a taller Tyreek. Sorry, Tyreek, we're going to miss you. We hope that you heal up. But he feels like he's got that ability. If you look at his highlights, dude's fast, big, and he could bulldoze people. I like this signing. I hope that he's everything in a cup of Pringles when he comes to the Chicago offense. So very excited about that. Tony, if you don't have any comments, would love to hit on the guy that's replacing Larry, obviously. But again, Larry still could be a Chicago Bear tomorrow. We don't know.
Yeah, my one comment on Pringle will just be, I love every 4 weeks, I would just bet on him to score a touchdown. That was it. I just take him. He's always plus money, and I'd hit it a couple times, not every time, but he was always the random guy that would just screw fantasy.
He hit it 5 times.
Yeah, he was always the guy that would screw fantasy owners, because it's like, oh, I need Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce to catch a touchdown, and then all of a sudden he's the one going off. So good to have him, though. He'll be a fun weapon. I think that's what's sports is all about. Entertainment.
He'll definitely be a wide receiver too. I think that, or he'll be paired. He'll be in a 3 package for sure. Let's just say that he'll be on the field a lot. Excited for him. But let's go into the guy that's replacing Larry as our last topic before we go into people who the Bears could still go after.
Yeah. So we decided defensive lineman Justin Jones. Almost immediately, it was basically released with the information that.
It was 12 minutes apart.
It's 12 minutes apart. All right. I saw the tweets together, so my apologies. I was driving. I pulled over safely to tweet. So he's coming from the Chargers, and he will be the replacement for now, at least in this situation, for Larry Ogunjobi. 6'3", 309 pounds, 25 years old. 2021, his stats were 37 tackles, 19 solo, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. Not a terrible signing. It's I think it definitely less production than Larry, but his injury record definitely scares us a little, which is kind of ironic because that's the whole reason that we have to sign him in general, because Larry's coming in with a little injury history. But I don't know. I'm not pumping my fist about this, but it's a fine signing. We'll see what the numbers are. I don't think the numbers have come out yet. I don't know if you've seen anything, Nick.
No, I hate when they don't post the numbers right away. There's up 2-year deal. Yeah. So he'll be with us for 2 years at least, though, which is exciting. And if Larry comes back, what a great depth signing. An awesome depth signing. I like it. The more I've learned about him, the better. And also, Larry had 7 sacks. This guy had 3, and this guy played only in, I believe, 11 games last year because of injuries. I'm just saying he could add very close stats. So hopefully he stays healthy. But Tony, quickly, let's go into the Bears players who the Bears could still go after. This list is a little bit more updated now. So I know Bears Twitter wants Juju Smith-Schuster. Wouldn't mind it. What scares me, though, is his injury status as well. I mean, he's had one great season.
It's TikToks.
Yeah, I can't stand the TikTok. I don't even watch TikTok. I'm an old soul. I was I can't stand TikTok. But I'm Instagram real guy. So
I'm an Instagram real guy too. That's funny. All right, keep going. Yeah, sorry.
Which is the same thing. So, wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling is still on the market. Would like that too. Come from the Luke Getzy tree. Aaron Rodgers is okay, wait, maybe I should have gone to Chicago. Maybe I should have tried to get traded there because they're taking all my guys away. Yeah, take that, Rodgers. Left tackle Cam Robinson is still potentially on the market. There's still some iffiness there. Center JC Treader, who can also play guard, but he's one of the best centers in the league by far. So the Bears would definitely put him there, and then Lucas would definitely go to guard. And then just to end it all off, Akeem Hicks is still available, but he definitely would be oh, so the guy that replaced me got hurt, huh? Yeah, I want $20 million a year. So I don't think the Bears will go after him, but it would be nice for him to stay. So Tony, any more comments before we close out?
My final comment, just a little cleanup from the last episode. I'd like to apologize to the commenters who all said Patrick Manley was the best long snapper in Bears history. I don't remember. I kind of blacked out during that episode while talking about Patrick Scales. I may have said he was the best or something. I apologize. You are correct. Patrick Manley will forever be possibly the greatest. Him and Devin Hester, the greatest special teams players, and Robbie Gould, I guess. All right, there's a lot of them. But either way, just want to apologize to all the commenters out there and the listeners. That's it.
And also, Tony only cried a little bit when Pat O'Donnell went to the Green Bay Packers. We're not talking about him. How could he do that?
Boo. Just boo. What? The whole thing
out of all places.
They have Aaron Rodgers. They got all this stuff. The one thing they didn't have is special teams. I know they signed a decent special teams coach, but their whole thing was that they couldn't punt. They couldn't block for their punter. That was awesome. The Mason crossbar, whatever. Annoying. Yeah, we can do a whole episode of that. That's a whole different thing.
That's why we kind of slid it in there at the end, because what a smack to the face. Whatever. But anyway, thank you very much for joining this Friday's episode of Just Another Year Chicago. This was filmed at lunchtime at 12:40, finished filming at 12:46 p.m. Central Time. So they could sign someone else. We're sorry if we miss it. We'll obviously make the top comment a disclaimer. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, joined alongside Tony Sapita. See you guys next time.